Prophet Shelah, the prophet of the rock camel, a birth in the Hijr region. In the northwest of the Arabian Peninsula, between Hijaz and Damascus. In a region with mountains, valleys, and rock formations, there was the city of Hijr. The Torah states, Arpachshad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. Genesis 10:24, 11:12-14. So Shelah was the son of Arpachshad, the grandson of Prophet Noah. He was the father of Prophet Eber. In the Quran, however, the lineage of Prophet Shelah is not described in detail. It only says, we sent Shelah to the Tamid their brothers. Al-Araf 773. Prophet Shelah was born among the Tamid people. This people was the second largest Arab community established after the Ad people. His name, Shelah, means honest, good in Arabic. Indeed, he was a very Shelah, very honest person. Prophet Shelah was the 19th generation descendant of Prophet Adam. The Tamid people, masters of the rocks. The Tamid people were a very special society. They had witnessed the destruction of the Ad people. They said, the Ad people built their houses in the plain, and a storm came and destroyed them. We are wiser. We will build our houses in the rocks. And so they did. They carved out the mountains. They hollowed them out. They built magnificent houses, palaces, and temples. The Quran says, He made you successors after the Ad. He settled you on the earth. You build palaces in its plains and you carve out houses in its mountains. Araf 774. In another verse, they carve houses into the mountains, thinking they will be safe there. Hikra 1582. They carve houses into the mountains skillfully. Shu'ara 26:149. Today, in Saudi Arabia, in the region called Madani Shelah cities of Shelah, these rock-carved structures still stand. Archaeologists are amazed, how did they do this? Huge gates, ornate columns, detailed carvings. How did they create such perfect works with primitive tools 2,000 to 3,000 years ago? This is where the genius of the Tamid people lay. They were very advanced in architecture and stonework. And they were very rich. In the Quran, they were given gardens, springs, crops, and beautiful date palms. Surah Ash-Shu'ara 26:147-148. That is, they had everything. Abundance, prosperity, wealth. In the Torah, it is only said about Shelah, Shelah became Eber when he was 30 years old, and lived for 403 more years after Eber. Genesis 11:14-15. There are no details. It is only mentioned in the genealogy. But the Quran describes the Tamid people and Prophet Shelah in great detail. Idolatry and arrogance. The Tamid people were initially believers. They knew the religion of Prophet Eber. But over time, as their wealth increased, they forgot to be grateful. They became arrogant. They said, we are very strong. We carve out mountains. No one can harm us. Then they began to worship idols. It is said that their main idol was in the form of an ox. There was an idol called Jessa. They worshipped it. They also made other small idols. There were idols in every house. They forgot God. They abandoned monotheism. Immorality increased. Adultery, drinking, gambling, theft. Every evil spread. The rich oppressed the poor. The strong mistreated the weak. It was at this very moment that God sent a warning, Prophet Shelah. Shelah, the beloved of the people. Prophet Shelah was a very beloved person among the Tamid people. According to estimates, his physical characteristics were, medium height, dark complexion, black hair, and a handsome face. He was good looking. His profession, he was a camel herder. He raised and cared for camels. He milked them and sold their milk. He also engaged in trade. He worked with leather saddler. He sold water carrier. His character, he was very honest, trustworthy, and generous. He helped the poor. He never lied. The Tamid people called him trustworthy. Everyone loved and respected him. Even the elders of the tribe were considering making him their leader. But Prophet Shelah did not worship idols. He worshipped God alone. People found this strange. Shelah is different, they said. He doesn't worship idols. But they still loved him. Because he was very good, very honest. Prophethood at 40 years old. When Prophet Shelah reached 40 years of age, his life changed. One night, while he was worshipping alone, the angel Gabriel appeared. "O Shelah," he said, "God has chosen you. You are now a prophet to your people." Prophet Shelah was surprised but happy. "Command me, God," he said. "What do you want me to do?" God commanded, "O Shelah, say to your people, worship God. You have no other God besides him." Al-Araf 773. And the 120-year preaching of Prophet Shelah began. It is said that Prophet Shelah became a prophet at the age of 16, preached until he was 120, and lived a total of 280 years. There are different accounts. Some say 85 years, others 200 years. It is not certain. The first invitation, God is one. Prophet Shelah came before his people. He said, "O my people, worship God. There is no God but him." His words in the Quran, "O my people, worship God. You have no other God but him. A clear sign has come to you from your Lord. This is the camel of God, a sign for you." Al-Araf 7:73. The people were astonished. What is Shelah saying? He is saying to abandon idols. Has he gone mad? The leaders of the people opposed him. "O Shelah, you who were once among us in whom we placed our hope." Al-Abar 11:62. That is, you were to be our leader. But what has happened to you now? Prophet Shelah replied, "O my people, if I am on a clear proof from my Lord and he has given me mercy from himself, what should I do? Who will protect me from God in the matter of disobeying him?" Al-Abar 11:63. That is, I have received revelation from God. This is the truth. I warn you because I love you. But they did not listen. Objections and excuses. The Tamid people made many objections to Prophet Shelah. 1. You are a human being like us. You also eat, drink, and sleep. How can you be a prophet? Prophet Shelah, yes, I am a human being. But God chose one of the humans. This is his wisdom. 2. You are bewitched. Their words in the Quran, you are only bewitched. You are just a human being like us. Surah Ash-Shura 26 153-154. Prophet Shelah, I am not bewitched. I am of sound mind. I am telling you the truth. 3. Our ancestors didn't do this. Our fathers and grandfathers worshipped idols. We are doing the same. Prophet Shelah, your ancestors may have been wrong. Don't blindly imitate them. For our lives are going well. Look how rich we are, how powerful we are. Idols benefit us. Prophet Shelah, these are God's blessings. Idols give you nothing. God gives. Give thanks to him. Request for a miracle, make a camel come out of a rock. Prophet Shelah preached for years. But most people didn't believe him. Finally, the elders of the community set a condition: if you are truly a prophet, show us a miracle. Prophet Shelah, what kind? They asked for the most difficult thing. They pointed to this rock and said, let a pregnant camel emerge from this rock. Let it give birth at the moment of delivery. Let its offspring be identical to its mother. Let its color be red. Let its milk be warm in winter and cool in summer. Whoever drinks this camel's milk will be healed and become rich. It was a very difficult request. It seemed impossible. Prophet Shelah said to them, very well. But know this, if God shows this miracle, will you believe? They replied, yes. If this happens, we will certainly believe. Prophet Shelah prayed to God in front of that rock. God, he said, these people want a miracle. Show it to them. Perhaps they will believe. And the miracle happened. The miracle, a camel from the rock. It is described in the Quran as follows: they said, you are only bewitched. You are only a human being like us. If you are one of those who speak the truth, bring a miracle. He said, this is a camel. It has a day to drink water, and you have a known day to drink water. Ash-Shu'ara 26:153-155. It is said, the rock cracked. A sound came from within. It was as if a woman was in labor. People watched, holding their breath. And the rock split open. A huge, red-haired, pregnant camel came out. The camel immediately gave birth. It gave birth to a calf. The calf was also red-haired. The camel raised its head as if bearing witness. It was as if it was saying, my God, there is no God but you. People were terrified. How is this possible, they said. Prophet Shelah said, this is God's miracle. Now believe. Some believed. But most were still stubborn. This is magic, they said. It is an illusion. The covenant with the camel. Prophet Shelah warned them, this is the camel of God. It is a miracle for you. Leave it in the land of God, let it eat and drink. Do not harm it, or a swift punishment will overtake you. Al-Araf 7:73. And they made a covenant, one day is the day the camel will drink, and one day is the day you will drink. Al-Shu'ara 26:155. That is, there was a spring in the region. It was enough for everyone. But they agreed, one day the camel will drink from the spring. People will not drink. One day people will drink. The camel will not drink. The camel was a magnificent animal. It was very large. In one day, it drank all the water of the spring. But in return, it gave a lot of milk. It is said that the camel's milk was so abundant that it was enough for the entire Tamid people. In the Quran, it has the right to drink water, and you have the right to drink water on a known day. Al-Qamar 54:28. Initially, people obeyed the covenant. One day the camel, one day they, on the day of the camel would come. It would come to the spring. It would drink all the water. Then it would lie down and give its milk. People would come with containers and take the milk. This milk was healing. The sick were cured. The poor became rich. But over time, jealousy began. Jealousy and complaint. Some of the rich people of the Tamid tribe became angry with the camel. This camel is drinking our water. They said. We cannot come to the spring every day. We wait one day. Our camels and our livestock are left thirsty. Prophet Shelah warned them, this is a covenant. Do not break it. It is God's command. But they did not listen. There were 9 people in particular. They were very wicked. In the Quran, there were 9 people in that city who were spreading corruption on the earth and not reforming it. An-Naml 27:48. These 9 people made a plan, we will kill this camel. Then we will kill Shelah and his family. No one will understand. Their words in the Quran, they swore by God, saying, we will surely raid him and his family at night. Then we will say to his guardian, we did not witness the destruction of his family, and indeed we are truthful. An-Naml 27:49. The killing of the camel. One day, the camel was again at the spring. It was drinking water. 9 people lay in ambush. In the Quran, they said, let us kill the camel and its offspring. An-Naml 27:49. And they attacked. They struck it with swords. They cut off its legs. The camel fell to the ground in agony. In the Quran, then they slaughtered the camel, disobeying the command of their Lord. Al-Araf 777. In another verse, the most wretched of them lunged and slaughtered the camel. Al-Shams 91:12. The baby camel ran to its mother. It was crying. Then it ran away, climbed the mountain, and disappeared. It is said that the baby camel entered a rock, hid inside, and died there. The Tamid people saw the camel being killed, but no one did anything. They even applauded. Well done. They said. We've dealt with that camel. Prophet Shelah came and saw the camel's carcass. He was very sad. Woe to you! He said. What have you done? You have killed God's miracle. Final warning, 3 days left. The Prophet Shelah warned one last time, he said, live in your land for 3 more days. This is a promise that is not false. Al-Araf 11:65. That is, after 3 days, the punishment will come. Repent. Perhaps God will forgive. But his people mocked him. What punishment, they said? Bring it and show it. Their words in the Quran, they said, O Shelah, you were one who gave us much hope. Are you forbidding us from worshipping what our forefathers worshipped? We are in a state of doubtful suspicion about what you are inviting us to. Al-Araf 11:62. In another verse, they said, bring the punishment you threatened, if you are one of the prophets. Al-Araf 7:77. The Prophet Shelah was very sad. But there was nothing he could do. He gathered the believers. He said to them, be ready. In 3 days, we will leave here. The punishment will come. And they waited. 3 days, signs. First day, the faces of the Tamid people turned yellow. There are no details in the Quran, but it is also mentioned in the rumors, the color of the people changed. They began to turn yellow. They were afraid. They said, was Shelah telling the truth? But they still did not repent. Second day, their faces turned red. The people became even more worried. They said, something is happening. But they still persisted. Third day, their faces turned black. The people panicked. They shouted, the punishment is coming. But it was too late. Prophet Shelah, along with the believers, left Hijr. They moved away. Destruction, the cry, terrifying sound, and the earthquake. The morning of the 4th day, the Quran describes it as follows, when the morning came, a terrifying cry seized them. Hijr 1583. We sent upon them a terrifying cry, and they became like withered grass and chaff. Kamar 54:31. The wrongdoers were seized by a terrifying sound, and they fell down in their homes. Abar 1167. As for Tamid, they were destroyed by a violent shaking. Fussilat 41:17. And he destroyed Tamid, leaving nothing behind. Najm 53:51. What happened suddenly? A terrifying sound came from the sky. It was such a sound that ears burst. Hearts stopped. At the same moment, a violent earthquake occurred. The ground shook. Houses collapsed. Those solid houses carved from rock. They were all destroyed. People remained inside their homes. Some ran outside, but the noise killed them. In the Quran, it was as if they had never lived there. Hud 1168. That is, no trace remained. Total annihilation. The destruction of Shelah is not described in the Torah. Because in the Torah, he is only mentioned as an ancestral figure, not a prophet. But the Quran emphasizes the destruction of Tamid. It is repeated in many surahs. Prophet Shelah and the salvation of the believers. Prophet Shelah and the believers were far away. The punishment did not harm them. In the Quran, when our command came, we saved Shelah and those who believed with him from the humiliating punishment of that day by a mercy from us. Hud 1166. How many people were saved? According to estimates, 120 people or 4,000 people. There are different accounts. What is certain, a small group survived. The majority perished. Prophet Shelah went to see the place of destruction. He wept. He said, O my people, I have conveyed to you the message of my Lord. I have given you advice. But you did not love those who gave advice. Migration to Mecca. Prophet Shelah, along with the believers, left the Hijr. They migrated to Mecca. At that time, Mecca was a small settlement. But the Kaaba was there. Prophet Shelah settled there. He spent the rest of his life there. He continued his preaching. He told people about God. According to some accounts, he lived in Mecca for another 85 years. In total, he lived for 280 years. Some accounts say 258 years, some say 200 years. Finally, when he grew old and died, he was buried in Mecca. The tomb of Prophet Shelah. Where was he buried? Different rumors, one in Mecca, between the Run and the Maqam, a place near the Kaaba. 2 in Hadramaut, somewhere in Yemen. 3 in Najaf, in Iraq, in the Wadi al-Salam cemetery. Which one is correct? There is no definite information. But the Mecca estimate is more common. Madinai Shelah, still cursed. Today, in Saudi Arabia, there is a region called Madinai Shelah, cities of Shelah. Its old name, Al-Hijr. There, hundreds of structures carved out of rock stand houses, tombs, temples. It is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Tourists visit and take photos. But Muslims are hesitant to go there. Because when the Prophet Muhammad passed through there, he said, "Enter the land of a people who have been punished with respect. And enter weeping. If you cannot weep, pretend to weep, so that what happened to them will not happen to you. And, do not drink water from their wells. Do not perform ablution with their water. That is, it is still considered cursed." When the Prophet Muhammad passed through there with his army, his companions passed by quickly. No one stayed there. Even today, some Muslims do not go there. They say, it is a cursed place. But archaeologists go there. They do excavations. And they are surprised, the Quran was true. There really was such a people. They really carved houses into the mountains. Comparison of the Torah and the Quran. In the story of Prophet Shelah, the accounts in the Torah and the Quran are very different. Shelah in the Torah, he is only mentioned in the genealogy, Arpachshad became Shelah, and Shelah became Eber. Genesis 10:24, 11:12-15. He is not described as a prophet. He became Eber at the age of 30. He lived for another 403 years after Eber. He lived a total of 433 years. There is no mention of the Tamid people, and not many stories about him. Shelah in the Quran, he is explicitly described as a prophet. He was sent to the Tamid people. He showed the miracle of the camel emerging from the rock. The camel was killed. His people were destroyed by a cry and an earthquake. He was saved along with the believers. His name is mentioned in 9 verses. He lived in the Hijr region. Common points: he is a descendant of the prophet Noah. He is a descendant of Arpachshad. He is a predecessor of Eber, Abraham's ancestor. Long-lived. Differences: Torah, Shelah is just an ancestor. He had no prophethood. He lived 433 years. Quran, Shelah is a clear prophet. He preached, performed miracles. He lived 280 years. Rumor. Torah, the Tamid people do not exist. Quran, the Tamid people are described in detail. Torah, no camel from the rock, no destruction. Quran, the miracle of the camel from the rock exists, it is described in detail. Some Islamic scholars say, Shelah and Shelah are the same person. But the information in the Torah has been lost or changed. Some say, they are different people. They only come from a similar lineage. There is no definitive information. But the similarity in the names is interesting: Shelah, Shelah. Traces in other holy books. An interesting point: miracles like the camel from the rock appear in different cultures. In Jewish Midrash texts, miraculous animals are mentioned. But no connection is made with Shelah. In Christian apocryphal texts, there are various miracles. But the story of Shelah is not mentioned. The Nabateans, people of Petra, they were a tribe that built houses from rock. Some claim that they were a continuation of the Tamid. But it is not certain. Archaeological findings: the inscriptions found in Madinai Shelah belong to the Lian and Nabatean periods, 1st to 2nd century BC. But the Tamid lived earlier, around 2400 BC. So, houses from rock may have been built in different periods. But the Tamid described in the Quran is older. Characteristics and titles of Prophet Shelah. What kind of person was Prophet Shelah according to estimates? Physical characteristics: medium height, dark complexion, black hair, handsome. He dressed neatly and cleanly. Occupation: camel driver, trader, leather worker, saddler, water seller, sakatka. He was skilled in every trade. Character: very honest, trustworthy, patient. He preached for 120 years without giving up. Nicknames: the trustworthy, the prophet of the Hijr region, the owner of the camel, the second Arab prophet after Prophet Eber. In the Quran, about Prophet Shelah, Shelah was the beloved of his people. He, Shelah, was a servant. The wisdom of the camel miracle. Why the camel? Why not another miracle? Because, 1. The Tamid were a camel herding people. They lived in the desert. The camel was their life. It was their most valuable possession. 2. The camel was a symbol of power. whoever had more camels was richer and more powerful. 3. God made a miracle out of what they valued. You value camels. Here is a camel from the rock. 4. The camel is a continuous miracle. It's not something that happens in an instant. Every day it comes to the spring, drinks water, and gives milk. It constantly reminds, I am God's miracle. 5. A test of the covenant. The camel was a test. Will you keep your covenant? They couldn't. And they perished. Messages from Prophet Shelah to our time. What do we learn from the story of Prophet Shelah? 1. Seeing a miracle is not enough for faith. The Tamid people saw a camel emerge from the rock. But most of them still didn't believe. Faith is a matter of the heart. Seeing a miracle is not enough, the heart must be open. 2. Keeping promises is essential. The Tamid made a covenant, we will protect the camel. But they broke it. And it was a lot. Keeping one's word is one of the most important virtues. 3. Jealousy is disaster. The Tamid were jealous of the camel. They said, it is drinking our water, and killed it. Jealousy drives people to evil. One must be content. 4. The majority is not right. In Tamid, only 120,400 people believed. The rest did not believe. But the minority was saved, the majority perished. The majority can be wrong. The truth is sometimes in the minority. 5. God's punishment comes suddenly. It was said, the punishment will come in 3 days. 3 days passed. The punishment came. God's promise is certain. Even if it is late, it will surely come. 6. Patience and long-term invitation. Prophet Shelah preached for 120 years. He never gave up. We too must be patient in our lives. We shouldn't expect immediate results. 7. Honesty and trust. They called Prophet Shelah trustworthy. He was very trustworthy. Being honest is the greatest asset. Earning people's trust is more valuable than gold. Interesting facts about Prophet Shelah. Houses in rock. Today, there are 131 tombs carved into the rock in Matan Shelah. The largest is 21 meters high. How did they do it? With what tools? It's still a mystery. Benefits of camel milk. Modern science has shown that camel milk is truly healing. It is good for diseases such as diabetes, cancer, and HIV. Prophet Shelah's camel perhaps gave even more miraculous milk. 280 years of life. Prophet Shelah lived a very long life. But in those times, people lived longer. Over time, lifespans shortened. 9 evil men. In Tamid, 9 people were particularly evil. The Quran emphasizes them. Sometimes in a society, a few evil people can drag everyone down. It is necessary to stay away from them. Did the Tamid people completely disappear? Some ask, did Tamid completely disappear? Did no descendants remain? In the Quran, and he destroyed Tamid, leaving nothing behind. Najm 53:51. That is, they were completely destroyed. But Prophet Shelah and the believers were saved. Are they considered from Tamid? Some scholars say, no. They became a believing community. Tamid refers to the unbelievers. Some say, the descendants of Prophet Shelah continued. But not under the name of Tamid. One thing is certain, the unbelievers, Tamid, were utterly destroyed. Not a trace remained. Prophet Muhammad and Medina-i Shelah. During the Tabuk expedition 9/630 AD, Prophet Muhammad passed through Medina-i Shelah. The companions stopped there and took water from the wells. Prophet Muhammad became very angry. This is the land of a punished people. Pass through here quickly. Do not drink from their wells. If you have kneaded dough without water, feed it to the camels. Pass through weeping. The companions immediately left. Prophet Muhammad did not worship there. He said, one does not pray in a punished place. This teaches us, we must respect cursed places. We must learn lessons from them. In conclusion, the Prophet of the Rock Camel. Prophet Shelah is known as the Prophet of the Rock Camel. He was sent to the Tamid people. A powerful, wealthy, and arrogant society built by carving into the mountains, he taught them the belief in the oneness of God. He said, God is one. Do not worship idols. They asked, make a camel emerge from the rock. God showed the miracle. A camel emerged from the rock. But they still did not believe. They killed the camel. The punishment came. A cry and an earthquake. They were all destroyed. Only the believers were saved. Today, in Medina, those houses carved from the rock stand. Each one is a lesson. A reminder. Do not rely on your own strength. God is more powerful. Be faithful to your covenant. Otherwise, your end will be bad. If you do not believe despite the engineers, punishment is inevitable. The Prophet taught us this, the greatest strength is faith in God. The greatest protection is servitude to Him. May His rank be high, and His soul rest in peace. Think of that huge camel. Its emergence from the rock, its arrival at the spring. Its milk, then its slaughter. And the torment that follows. Perhaps there are miracles in your life too. But do you notice them? Perhaps God is giving you blessings. But can you contemplate this? Be honest like the Prophet Shelah. Be patient. Be true to your word. In peace, mindfully, may God protect our hearts from being sealed.